everyone. Welcome to Jobwher podcast series. I'm your host, Cindy, and here I'm going to be talking a lot about working in Japan and everything that is related to it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave us a comment to give us feedback or suggestion on what to cover next. In this episode, we're going to talk about the positions that are currently needed by Japanese companies, as well as personal quality and also qualification that can be valuable. Now, to give you the information, today I'm joined by Jobware marketing team, Haruki Morikawa-san. Hi Haruki-san, how are you?
Hello, Cindy-san. Fine. Yes, it's good weather in Japan.
Thank you very much for joining us, Haruki-san. And as I mentioned before, that today we're going to discuss about the positions that are currently needed by Japanese companies, as well as personal qualities and also qualification that can be valuable. Okay, now before all that, can you please introduce yourself?
So my name is Haruki Morikawa from Japan, and I'm working for Jobwher, and my I belong to Japanese sales and marketing team. So I'm in charge of selling Jobwher products to Japanese companies and try to persuade them to use Jobwher.
Right. Thank you so much, Haruki-san. Okay, let's start with the first question. Now, we know that there are currently a great opportunity for digital talents to work for Japanese companies. First, Haruki-san, can you please let us know on the kinds of positions that are currently popular or currently needed by Japanese companies?
So first of all, all types of IT workers are demanded in Japan, due to the serious shortage of IT workers. Even though the ratio of university students who study the computer science and other digital related major is increasing, like Japanese students is increasing, but the
Mhm.
population of IT worker is stable due to the rapid population decline in Japan. It is a
Right.
big social problem in Japan. Way. And on the other hand, the demand of IT workers are increasing. I think it is not only the case of Japan, but it is estimated that one more jobs will be replaced with the ones with digital skills required. So the shortage of IT workers in Japan is getting worse than before. And our research showed that in the worst case, the gap between the demand and the supply of IT worker in Japan will be 800,000 in 2030. Yeah, so the government has started several policies to invite IT talents from abroad. Yeah, then if we close look at the types of IT workers, the demand for IT talents which can create new values or contribute to improving efficiency of business processes by using AI or IoT technologies or big data. Yes, such kind of skill, people with such kind of skill is increasing. From the perspectives of companies in Japan, if it's just a development task, we can outsource tasks to software development companies or vendors of softwares. But the talents who can work in the user company and not only just to write codes, but also contribute to business processes are welcome currently in Japan. Yes, that's all for me.
Actually, we have a lot of that in Indonesia, but how about the qualification? Can you go more specific on that?
Okay, so yeah, the skill and knowledge of programming languages are of course yes, it's important. And in Japan, most popular language is C language or C++. In Japan, a lot of
Mm.
companies have their own big operation systems. So I think these skills are demanded. And in other languages like Python and JavaScript are also popular, same with the world
Mm.
trend. However, the demand for Java is lower compared to other countries. And
I see.
moreover, yeah,
Interesting.
yes. And it is often said in Japan that close communication is necessary for engineers, because companies face the shortage of IT workers. So the talents who can listen the needs of clients before and while the development and suggest ideas from the development perspective is preferred in Japanese companies.
Now, we understand that Indonesia and Japan have quite some differences in our culture, and that also affects the set of expectations from companies to their employees. Now, can you give us more information on what kind of expectations from Japanese companies regarding personal qualities of their employees?
Yes, so I think to work in Japanese companies well, like you need to be careful about mainly 2 points. It's respecting others and being punctual. Yes, and as for the respecting others, like even if Japanese people say they are trying to like evaluate people in their skill and result that they made in like as the Western countries way, but I think there is the culture of like respecting elders, and yes, I think this kind of culture cannot be eliminated from our minds easily. So, like, if you show respect to other members in your organization, like, I mean, if you value not just your result and achievement, but also the harmony of your organization as a community, I think Japanese people find you as a good guy, I think.
Does it also apply to startup companies who have more modern and young employees compared to conventional companies?
Yes, I think it applies like all kind of like community. Like it's not only in company, but also in school or in the local community, in family, like anything else. Like we respect older people.
Get it? So it's very important to note that one. Right. Now, moving on to the next question. How about the salary range for digital talents in Japan? Can you give us more information on that?
So in Japan, in law, like minimum salary is around 1,000 yen per hour. I think it's about 10 US dollars. And the salary of software engineers, of course, higher than standards of other occupations. It is said that average yearly salary of Japanese people is around 4 million yen, while the one of software engineers is more than 5 million yen. So yeah, you can you can earn high salary if you are software engineers in Japan.
And how about the working hour? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So basically, like Japanese companies prefer 8 hours working time per day for 5 days a week. So it will be 40 hours per week, and on Saturday and Sunday will be your holiday. Yeah. But under the COVID-19, more and more companies offer more flexible working hours, and the number of companies who offers 4 or 3 days work per week is increasing.
Right. Moving on to one of the biggest concern that we have, it's the language. Now, if I want to come to work for Japanese companies, is it necessary for me to be able to speak in Japanese?
Okay, so I think there is still a huge barrier of the language in Japan. Like Japanese people are thinking that like, they are not good at English, and actually, it is shown that the English standards of Japan is very low. So there are two problems. Like firstly, like they hesitate to use English or like other foreign language. And secondly, there is a actual problem to communicate in English in Japanese society. Yeah, so if you are thinking about working in Japanese company, in most cases, you need to learn at least basic phrases of Japanese language, yeah, like greetings, yeah, greeting phrases. So more than 50% of job opportunities from Japanese companies require the Japanese skills, I guess. But the thing is, like even though it is slow pace, the English level of Japanese is showing some improvement. And now I believe that you can find some job posts without Japanese requirements. And I think in such companies, like there are some people who can communicate in English, and some people who cannot. So yeah, anyway, I think if you are open to study new language, you have more chances to get jobs in Japan. So to sum up, like there are a lot of opportunities to work in Japanese companies, like without having to be able to speak Japanese. But if you can speak Japanese, then that will show opens up a whole lot other opportunities.
Thank you, Haruki-san. That's very encouraging because I think one of the biggest concerns is always the language now. To know that we can rely on English alone, yeah, it opens up a lot of opportunities for us. Right. Thank you very much, Haruki-san, for joining us today and sharing with us valuable information about working in Japan. And that concludes our discussion today. Thank you very much also for everyone who have been watching. Hope the information is also useful to you and give you insight on how to start working in Japan and also what to prepare if you want to work for Japanese companies in the future. Okay, that would be our second episode of Jobwher podcast. See you guys again in the next episode. Bye bye.